Hello, welcome to a very special video. You see, I reached 1,000 subscribers, which is awesome. Didn't think I was going to do that. Well, I mean, eventually, but as quick as there's some people that still haven't got to 1,000, and they've been on YouTube for years. But happy it's happened. I guess I'll celebrate it with showing you some gunpla I made. Something different from, GPO2. I said GBO2. And, I have a few gunpla myself, but I'm not good at just painting or building them. I just, I cut the runner down the closest to the part I can, and then I just attach it on. Boom, there's my gunpla. I have a Gaza C, I have a Zock, Juagu. I have the Dictus from Crossbone Gundam, which is really cool. And I believe I have the Astaroth from Iron Blooded Orphans, I want to say. But that one's, ooh, I hate the feet on that one. That was like the first one I ever got to. And it shows. But I guess I wanted to do this because, have you guys ever played a game where you created your own character and you just wanted to, you create a universe, like an original universe, or maybe just an original story around that character, maybe in that universe? That's kind of what I did here, where there's multiple factions in our solar system. There's the SFU, which is Earth, the Moon, all those surrounding planets. Then you have the ROP, which is separated from Earth, and they're in the asteroid field. I wanted to say Mars or Jupiter, but I think the asteroid field is kind of cooler. And then you have a faction of aliens teaming up with humans, peacefully on the outreaches of our solar system in Pluto. And then you have the fourth faction, which is a invading alien force, the DMS, and how they beat back all the other factions down to Earth, and then the Earth fights back, and all that good shit. Yeah, I guess we'll start off here with a faction. It's not even really a faction. It's just where I put all my goofy suits. I really wish I could remember what some of their the faction names were. But I'm pretty sure I did that because I didn't want the character count for the name to go up, so I don't run out of room when I'm putting in names. But yeah, this first one here, the GHU, those are just it's not even serious. Those ones are the joke suits. I list them all together, and yeah, I think it stands for Goofy something United. But yeah, we have the GHU Marvin, which that is my very first suit I've ever made in a Gundam Breaker game, which, yeah, I know this is the first Gundam Breaker game I've played, new Gundam Breaker, which, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, this game sucks. The story, I do not give a single fuck about this story. The only girl I like is Shion, and she is not even a character. It's way better, I'm about to say it was way better than Gundam Breaker 3, but no, Gundam Breaker 3 has a way better story, and I still don't give a shit about that story. But, at least Misa, I care about Misa a little bit, because she, not only, I don't care about her, but, man, at least she has, some character. Even if she is useless. At least I can send her away when I'm buying parts. It's pretty funny if you do it too many times, she just gets pissed off and doesn't go away. Gundam Breaker 3 is way better than New Gundam Breaker. So if you're gonna get a Gundam Breaker game, get Gundam Breaker 3. You won't regret it. But yeah, the Marvin, you can see it's very, very obviously this is my first suit. It's got the Zaku head, Zaku 2 head, and Zaku 2 legs with the missile pods. Got Gundam arms, shield, and beam rifle, and then it's got the V on it. Yeah, not much to say about Mr. I almost call him Gavin. Marvin. Nothing about Mr. Marvin here. Pretty simple suit, pretty funny looking. That's the first one. And then we have our first DMS suit, the Invading Alien Forces, the Crocodile, which I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's essentially the name is a cryptid from, I want to say, Australia. But yeah, this is a very rusty, beat-up suit. I really like the knee pads on and the arms. It really gives it that feel of it being a... it was essentially the DMS's grunt suit. What DMS would do is they would invade a planet and then absorb their technology into their own, or use the excess technology to make something, you know. And usually they'd make more Crocodiles here, which they're your basic junk grunt suits. And what they would do is they would just send a bunch of them to a planet. If the planet fought back well enough, they're like, okay, fuck it, we'll just send our better suits so that we can... If they get wiped out by the Crocodiles, that's that. You know, if they're actually fighting back, it's like, okay, get the serious suits out, fuck them up. But yeah, you can see it's got the clamp arms for melee combat. It's got the beam shoulder cannon for range. And then the shield, which I want to say it's called the Chobham shield. But I honestly don't remember what it does besides fire something. It looks like it fires a beam, but I think I just made it for this universe that it fires ballistics. So it has a beam and a ballistic, you know. And I didn't realize that has the Break Diaz head. I mean, it tells you it's the Break Diaz head. And I was like, oh, I recognize Diaz, but not the break part. And then I played Gundam Breaker 3. And I was like, oh, shit. That's the Break Diaz. In one of the DLC missions. But yeah, that's the DMS's first invading suit there. And we'll get to another first for the ROP, which I believe stands for the Republic of something. The guys that live in the asteroid belt, they separated from Earth, and they built their very first suit. And this would be the one they would fight back. They'll try to fight back against the DMS. As you can see, it's got the Gafron or Gayfron. I don't know how you pronounce the name for it. It's got the head and the backpack. Had very limited parts when I made this. You'll see these legs again. And yeah, basic little grunt suit. Oh, is that the Zuta's? Yeah, Zuta's torso. But yeah, very basic grunt suit to fight the DMS with until they got beat back to Earth. Or at least around that area. Then we get to the first QBM suits, which those are the guys that... those are the aliens that work with humans around Pluto on the edges of our solar system. And they have two suits when DMS... well, not two suits, but they had two series of suits when the DMS arrived. And they're the 42 and the 43. The 42 is the Songbird. And as you can see, it's obviously got some GPO2 parts, and it's got the Domtropin legs. And I really love how, in Gundam Breaker, how legs... not legs, how poses, whenever you're doing poses and you have certain parts, they will also do something different. You'll notice if you have like the Strike Freedoms backpack, you know, all of his funnels will come out. Same with some other suits, I can't remember off the top of my head. I know, like, maybe the Faz? I think the Faz backpack will do that. It'll show its gun out, you know. And then for certain, like, fighting suits, like from G Gundam, they'll have, like, some signature bullshit in the back, you know. But yeah, GPO2 arms, it was essentially just a range fighter. It worked in tandem with the next suit here, which is the QBM43 long legs, which yeah, those are some long legs. And for some reason I didn't give the GPO2 bazooka to the dude that has the GPO2 arms, but I gave it to this dude. And yeah, it worked with the Songbird to help fight back against the DMS. And they stood the most amount of chance against DMS, But the problem is that they didn't have as much suits as everybody else. The thing is, they had the most advanced suits at the time, but then they got invaded by DMS, and they fought back for a little bit, and then they eventually just got, they had to push back, they had to pull away, and let DMS invade, and then that led them going to ROP, and then they both had to go back to Earth, or at least around the Earth area, and beyond to like Venus or Mercury. So yeah, they got whooped. But yeah, they helped, they tried their hardest, you know. Mr. Longlegs, they hold a lot of thrusters. So it's a pretty fast suit. Then we got another joke suit. The you saw the Marvin, now you got the Gavin. And yeah, I really love how even the ball arms there, even they pose, and he's just happy to be here, you know. Mr. fucking Gavin here, just very happy to be here. It's a goofy looking Gzugok with Gzugok arms and another Domtropin pair of legs. And then we have the Ozark, which I didn't give a faction name to, designation of a faction to. So I think I just made this just to make it. But I guess if I wanted to say something, I guess it can be like, if I want to add to the universe, I guess it could be a joint mobile suit construction between the SFU, which is Earth, and the ROP, which is the asteroid belt people. And yeah, it's also using the same legs as the Poppy, so I guess that can help it, you know, be like, oh hey, yeah, this is this thing. Yeah, got the dual miniguns there and a sword, kind of like a prototype, I guess you can say. Then we have the FUBM47 Demogorgon, which when FUBM and the ROP got pushed back, they had to make some suits on, you know, to make some suits to hurry up and help Earth with. And this is one of them. As you can see, he's obviously got a GM head with horns on it. It's got the high Gog arms, Gzugok legs. But it's also got I believe it's called the Serpent backpack. So it's got weapons. It's got a beam bazooka. I want to say, well, it's got a bazooka, and it's got, I think, a beam rifle. I don't watch Wing, which I believe it's not. Was it from Wing? The Serpent Custom, one of those. I don't watch it, but I believe that's what it had for weapons. And yeah, it just helps support. It's kind of a stopgap suit to help out with. That's all we got for the Demogorgon. And then we have, spoilers for a universe, for a show, I guess, that doesn't even exist. But this is the final bad guy suit, the DMS 901, which is the reverse of the 109 Crocodile. But this is the Malphus, which is a demon name. I want to say it's from like demonology or something like that. But yeah, the Malphus. Very, the way it worked is it had, well, you can see from the background there, it's obviously very powerful. What it did is it used something like the Psycho frame from Gundam, where it could use the user's psychic abilities and project it as weapons or thrusters, and it made it a really powerful suit. But obviously it looks like it's really frail too. So it was really powerful, but the cost of being really frail. And I believe I made it where, like, oh, that shield, yeah, I can shoot beams out of it. Psychosis beams or something like that. It could project beams out using his mind and, you know, make himself go faster. It was a pretty powerful suit in the universe. It was the final bad guy suit, you know. Even though it's good, you know, it's just a Dom with a horn on it. It was pretty cool. And then we get to the first SFU, you know, the first Earth suit, which is the Archibus. I forgot what that name was from, and I can't look it up right now, unfortunately, but yeah, it's the first Earth suit, the very first in the universe. Like, this is their first suit they made to fight, not really fight DMS, this is before the DMS even appeared, just the first suit in general. And yeah, you'll be seeing that you'll be seeing that spear quite a bit on other suits because I just forget that I have the spear attached and it did the most damage at the time. But I also, if you noticed, I refrained from using Gundam heads. I believe this Gundam head's from Seed, but the reason I don't use them too much is because I can look at it. Like, I look at an original suit somebody made, and I see it has a Gundam head, and I just look at it and go, hey, that's a Gundam. You know? At least with the Dom or some other Mono Eye suit, you can go, well, it has one eye, you know, it's just like a camera. You can give some kind of reason, but the Gundam has a very distinct look, you know? You see a V-fin, you go, hey, that is a Gundam. Or that is a reference to Gundam. But yeah, this is the Archibus. I'm not even sure that's how you pronounce it, but essentially it was a flying suit that intercepted ships the DMS ships coming in to invade Earth, and you know, just alien ships in general when they started invading. It flew, but it was it was also a very frail suit, and to come in slash with its beam sabers there it has, and then head on to the next target, or you know, try and shoot them down with I want to say those are missiles in its shoulders. So it's just made to intercept stuff, and they kept this suit a long while in this universe, the SFU, because they didn't have any other ground units. It eventually got replaced, but that's when they finally secured space around Earth. And like, okay, let's make an actual good flying suit for our atmospheres, you know. And yeah, that's the Archibus. And then we have I think I changed the GHU to the GHUA, and yeah, you'll see we got Beach Jock here. Obviously a very silly suit, and you're gonna love this picture. Oh no, it's not the one I was thinking about. Damn. Yeah, there's one I had where he was like falling down. It was hilarious. Maybe it's in one of the later ones, but yeah, he's just very silly looking. He's got a fucking sword, peppermint sword. Yeah, he looked like one of those beach late weightlifters. It kind of had that, like that beach suit from like the 20s, I want to say, that from that era. And I was like, oh, it looks funny, I'll keep it. And I did, and it was actually a decent suit from what I remember. I'm going off the stats here, but I don't remember much. And then another silly suit after this, we got the Furious Phil. What the fuck? Yeah, GPO2 arms. I don't know what the fuck went on here. I just want to see what I could do with the ball parts. And I'll keep backing down on accident. Yeah. Obviously just a really silly, just crap suit. Yeah, that's all we got for Furious Phil. Oh, shit. And then we get to one of my favorite designs I've ever made. And I wish there was some company that would make Gunpla, or at least 3D print Gunpla, or something, because I would actually have this be made. There's only a slight problem with it, though. Well, I have multiple versions of this suit. The Odysseus. The SFU7 Odysseus, which is basically the Gundam of this universe. Oh my god, I love that pose so much. Whenever DMS invaded, they needed a spacesuit. Whenever the DMS invaded, they had their Archibus, and they had a bunch of leftover ROP and QBM suits. They eventually fought them back out of space, and now they needed to get rid of the DMS in space, and they had a few spacesuits made. Then they had this one made as well, and this was the fastest thing made at the time, which is the Odysseus. And what it would do is it would fly in, destroy the back line, and come back and let the front line push even harder. or destroy the back line, destroy a lot of the support ships, a lot of the warships that the aliens had, a lot of the stronger suits, come back to the front line, help support, and if worse comes to worse, it could detach, which I know those things can't detach. Those are the Bjarlance backpack there, the Bjarlance backpack. But he could detach those in my universe, and it'd be used like a last resort missile, just send out this fucking missile, like, oh shit, I'm about to get caught, shoot it out, both of those out, and just cause a huge explosion, and hopefully try and get away with using the rest of its high mobility thrusters. And I just love the design of this. It has this almost old school kind of design going on with it. It's got those curves to it that give it like a super robot-esque look. The only issue is that its chest area there, you can see that it has two power pipes clipping together, and that's because the torso there is from the Zaku tank, and that bottom half is from the Giradoga, and the power pipes are kept on both, and they just clip horribly into each other. I would probably get rid of the Giradoga power pipes and keep the Zaku tank power pipes, but I just love the way it looks, because it looks like a prototype, but at the same time like a weapon. It's got the shoulder cannons there. It would provide a lot of ample firepower. It'd speed in and then speed out. I just love this design a lot. So much that I made an Ace version. And a second one too. Yeah, that's the Odysseus. And then we have the Odysseus Ace. Whenever they started getting mass produced, they gave some to the Aces. And they have the Odysseus Ace. And it looks like they reboot. You know how I was talking about how the original Odysseus looked like it was a super robot. This looks like a reboot in the 90s, It looks like the what are they? It looks like what was the Gundam series? The Stardust Memories version of the Odysseus, a little bit of a rework, if you will. Still has the same legs, but now it looks a little bit meaner, Definitely looks like it can actually take people out, which is cool. Basically, it still had the same purpose, but it was just, better stats on it for the Ace. Then we have the ROP Spectacle, and this was another kind of like, let's just make another suit. And, along with the Poppy, it just helped support. They built it on Earth whenever they just need to build some suits, and they're like, okay, we need to build a support suit. And the ROP made the Spectacle, and it was a spectacle. It shot a lot of beams, except for that ground type gun it has on it in its hand. Just fire at people, blast them away. Pretty good suit. It's not my favorite though. Then we have the SFU09 Tracker, which the Archibus, I said, is like their first suit. This was actually their very first suit. They had to pull some out to help fight against the initial DMS invasion. And as you can see, it looks like a very first suit. It doesn't even have a head. It just has the torso there, which I colored the middle part yellow to make it look like, oh, this is where the cockpit is. And it's got a big old Gustav cannon for a head. Got a little simple shield, which that shield's supposed to shoot beams, but not in this universe. The universe is just a shield. And yeah, it can shoot some missiles from the hips there, and it's got a machine gun. It's just the very first suit made by the Earth. Almost said the Earth Federation, but yeah. Just shot at some Crocodiles, and it stayed around for a little bit until they had to build some actual suits. And then we have the ROP F-34 Sense, which, holy shit, he's bigger than I remember. I don't remember the purpose of this suit at all. I think this is just another, mostly ROP suits. I was like, oh fuck it, let me build something, and I built something. And yeah, he was just a big suit, and I believe he can just shoot out those funnels. Those are from like the Legend Gundam or the Providence Gundam. They had the same purpose: shoot out and just help support front lines. Cockpits in the penis. It had no other weapons. It was just like a big support suit. The RP used when it, oh, actually, it does have a gun there. He used it for the to help with space. Gets a DMS, and finally another DMS suit. The DMS 845 FOW, which I think stands for Frontline Something Warrior, and it was essentially just a really flexible melee-oriented suit. And those are like the Gaffron's arms, but I like the way the arms look, because like I gave a reason for it to like exist in this universe. It looks like they're flexible, so I made it to where like, oh, okay, so the DMS needed a ground suit or a space suit that was really good at melee, better than the Earth suits. The Earth suits, have like that blocky design. This one has looks almost like, not fleshy, but just definitely more organic. And I was like, okay, they took one of the invention, or when I said earlier they took some of the technology from other races they invaded. They had like technology that kind of worked like muscle, and they put it on this suit, and it worked really well. It was a very badass suit in my universe. Very badass in my universe. And it's got the leg pod missiles, big sword, and a decently sized shield. Pretty cool looking. And it's big too. It's a big suit. Not as big as the next one, the DMS 500 Tall Tower, which, holy shit, it had to move the camera up because it's so goddamn tall. I'll give this for new Gundam Breaker over Gundam Breaker 3. It really gives you a sense of scale. Gundam Breaker 3, you get to see your suits next to each other, but it often feels like they would just shrink down to fit alongside each other, unless you're using an MG suit. In this game, if you have parts that are big, they're big. They don't try to shrink down your proportions. And yeah, we have the Tall Tower, which is a very big supporting unit suit. It's got the Break Diaz arms, Dryson head. I think that's the Barzam's legs with the Pallas Athene's torso. And yeah, it provided a lot of support. I want to say it was a faster unit. Obviously with his long legs, but they would hold thrusters, and it would use, I know the Barzam's little crotch gun there isn't actually a beam gun, but in this universe it is. It shoot with its beams and shoot with the tips of its little arms there. Yeah, pretty powerful. Another good DMS suit, and a very big one at that. The SFU10 Faceless, which I believe this one was a prototype kind of weapon to help out in space. It's kind of like their version of the Pale Rider, except they kept it around. They have it on record. It's got another shield, underslung gun there. Yeah, got wings. Nothing much else to say about it, because I don't remember too much about what it did. It's just like, oh man, I want to make something with the unicorn head because it doesn't look like it has a face, and I'll call it Faceless. And yeah, it was Faceless. Then we have the oh, okay, so I have multiple versions of the I think, no, actually one of these is not the Odysseus. I just haven't gave it a name. But this is the SFU734 Odysseus II, which, oh man, and the official second Odysseus, now with extra clipping in the arm. Essentially, when the war with the they won the initial war, against DMS. The Earth, the Earth and the ROP and the QBM. They won the initial battle, war. I keep saying battle, war. They had to upgrade some of their suits, and then they made another Odysseus. And this one, as suits got more faster, the original Odysseus got outclassed, so they just decided to make a new Odysseus, but give it a different kind of role. Now this one's just pure support. And it's got the gun arm there. They can shoot beams, the leg pod missiles, and then this, which I know is just purely weapons. Little boost. I keep saying boosters because I keep thinking they're boosters. It's supposed to be like all weapons. The real booster's the middle here, but I made it to where these were also boosters, but they can be doubled up as weapons. Like they can take the output and use it as beam weaponry. I know there's missiles at the top there, which I just didn't make them missiles. And it'd pop up underneath his arms, and he'd fire off his beams. They don't come off like the original Odysseus, unfortunately. So he didn't have a last resort move. But yeah, that's the Odysseus II. Also a design I really like. It just looks cool. It looks mean. I keep saying it just looks mean. And yeah, provided a lot of support for the second DMS war. And this, I can tell by the paint scheme, it's supposed to be the ROP. It's supposed to be a ROP suit. I don't know for what role, but it also has a gun arm, so maybe kind of like a basic frontline unit. Has a Gundam head. You know what? I actually made a suit in Gundam Breaker 3 that uses the Hygog legs here, and also used some of the Break Dia's head and arms. I call it the Glorious Stump, and maybe that could be this suit right here is like the prototype to that suit. I really wish I could stream so I can show you the Glorious Stump, but yeah. Basically what I did for the Glorious Stump was that it was after all the war stopped, it was kind of a patrol unit out in space. And I guess this can be a patrol unit for the asteroids in the ROP faction, since they live in the asteroid field. Yeah, that could work. Prototype of the Glorious Stump. Had the SFU09 Sam, as you see by its weapons. I really like the Bjarnet legs on this. And another Gundam head, surprisingly. This is just simply a unit that can just fire at people with its missiles and its minigun there. Cool. Pretty simple suit. Alright, sorry about that. I had to go do something. And I also looked over some of the footage, and I really hope this doesn't translate to the actual video where it's like smaller. It's just in a corner. If it does, oh well. I'm not very much of an editor. But yeah, we're at the Sam here. Let's go to the next one, the SFU Great Moth, which yeah, this one's pretty simple. I think I just made this as a thing, not really part of the universe, although I put the SFU on it anyway. Maybe it could be sort of like a commanding suit. Maybe they borrowed some tech from the DMS and they put together a suit that can, I don't know, looks like it'd use its hands to fight. Maybe it's got some psycho energy in it or something. That'd be cool. And I call it the Great Moth because it looks like it has wings. So there's that. Now we go to the SFUBM5 Armada, which I remember the Armada. Armada is also one of my favorite suits. It actually has well, you can see there it has 3 versions there. Well, 2 of the same. And what happened was I was like, oh man, I really want to come up with a suit that kind of progresses, So we have the Armada here, which is whenever they were building suits to go to space, the SFU Earth, to fight back the DMS in space, they were mass producing tons of suits to try and see, they're kind of just throwing shit at the wall and see what would stick. In this one, a base got raided while this thing was in being produced. What it was going to be was a support suit that would, deliver ammo and carry weapons, just be a supporting role, And in the middle of it, being built, they got raided by DMS suits, and they had to activate these pretty early. Or at least they got caught wind of what was going to happen, so they had to put this stuff in operation. And out came out this thing, which the head's complete, the backpack was complete, and they had attached some arms and put some tank treads on it, and it did really well. Defended the best it could. It gave support to the suits that were there. It did really well, enough to where they finished it in production, and they sent it off to space, which would be the SFUBM5 Armada, the finished version. Which, yeah, we got the finished here. I don't like how the shoulders turned out, but I think it was just fine the way it is. It looks like, it got completed. Got the power pipes on it. It's got some funnels on it, too, which I didn't realize those were funnels. This is before I got into Gundam, which I guess I can talk about that after this, but, yeah, they sent it off to space, and, delivered weapons to people, and, ammo, and I'm pretty sure it had a regular beam rifle, also has a little shield there, so it worked pretty well in tandem with all the other suits, and I guess, yeah, it's got that minigun just in case, for range combat, but pretty sure it had a beam rifle too, but, I thought those would be like grenades, but no, pretty sure those are funnels. And then, after the first war, they made a Armada 2 because the first one was so successful, and it looks a little bit different, a little beefed up. The kind of like with the the Odysseus, they made it a supporting suit as well. I guess all the suits they had from the first war with the DMS, they decided to kind of keep them around in a way, I guess for morale or something. But yeah, now it actually has funnels. It keeps up that supporting role by carrying some weapons, and obviously that's the FAS backpack, I think, and providing long-range support fire and supporting other teammates with its funnels, which I don't know what I'd call it in my universe. Probably like psycho bits. Yeah, it was a menace to fight because it had that big old gun. It can snipe at people. It's got the missile launcher, which it clips through the gun there. But I think I was like, oh man, the gun has a little slot underneath it, so it fits right where the missile launcher is. That way it can fit on top of it. Even though I can just put it on the other side, but I just never did. It was pretty cool. Got a big old sword. Give it to somebody. Go take down a big ship, or maybe it can go take it out itself. Again, another example of pretty cool poses you can do with certain suits. I'm not sure what caused this. Probably the legs. Oh, it also has a little pistol it's clipping through. That's nice. Yeah, one of my second favorite, I think, next to the got the high collar. Yeah, look good. Look like it fits right in there. My second favorite suit next to the Odysseus here, the Armada. Then we have the QBM-80 Krieg, and it's a pretty small suit. Yeah. What happened was, in this universe, the QBM, they finally got to make some actual suits, and they decided to make a pretty grunty suit, something to keep up with the manpower to get some manpower into the front lines, you know. And obviously got the what is it called, the Den Zoe head. Never really properly. Looks like I just slapped the enhance on top of its head, which I pretty much did. But you know, at the front it looks fine, you know. Got the Master Gundam shoulders. It's got the Asdam leader on its leg there. Just, you know, your simple grunt suit. Carries, like, I think that's a beam machine gun. Pretty well. Got the GN drive, I think that's what that's called, on its back. Yeah, help the front lines. And it's got a little pod there, little chest piece, which I believe is Dragon Gundam. But it looked alright, you know. It was like, oh man, you know, they kind of slapdashed it together in a way, so it kind of looks like, I don't know how to explain it, but they did make a Cree Commander type, which is essentially just a, even though it has a little bit lower stats than the regular Cree in this game, in the universe it's actually better. They made it for commanders to use. I guess an ace version of the Krieg. Just better stats. And it's got that, I want to call it a beam sniper rifle, but I'm pretty sure it's just a regular rifle, wherever it came from. I don't know. It looks like it blends in with how its arms are. I'm pretty sure, yeah, those are the Sumo arms. So maybe it's from Turn A? Who knows? So it's got the minigun on its back as well. Looks like it has a mustache almost, but yeah, it's green instead of red. And it's glowy bits. Then we have the SFU Coffin, which this one doesn't have a number to it, but essentially this is during the First War with DMS. Man, I really like that that pilot, the little sniper tower thing going on there. Basically, what happened was all the leftover destroyed stuff that was going on during the ground invasion of the First War. Some people had to scrap together some suits, and out came the Coffin. And there's a reason they call it the Coffin, because it's just not as good as all the other suits. Slapdash, but it made for an excellent sniping suit. It would, you know, it has those two watchers on its back. They go, hey, go look over there and go snipe. Okay, pew, snipe it with the beam gun there. And you know, if it didn't get shot at, it did pretty well. Just kind of a watchtower, I guess. Sentry. Yeah, I like the again, I like the little dudes on the back there. Although it looks really bad if you're playing this game and you're boosting around, they just sit there. The ROP-16 Blade Wave. I don't remember what this looks like. Ah, okay, yeah. This one's not blue and gold. This one's actually lower. And looks like it's got a few GM Archer parts, but what I did with this, I was like, oh man, they really need a light and fast suit. And that's what I did. Made it light and fast. I'm pretty sure, is all of this just the GN Archer parts? Oh, the shoulder looks different. That's like the shoulder bits there. But if this is actually just the entire GN Archer, then I'm sorry. Maybe if I go back and see, I hope not. The head, the body. Okay, the arms are Noble Gundam. Okay, so the head, the body, and the legs are the GN Archer. Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. Pretty much just ripped off a almost the entire suit and called it something else. Probably because I just looked at the pieces and not the names themselves. I was like, hey, that looks skinny enough. But I guess the point of this one was that a light, fast, you know, hit and run kind of suit. ROP is gonna get sued now. We have the SFUBM5 Armada 2. Oh, this must be. Oh yeah, that's just a random suit I made. I didn't even give it a name. It was just something. And yeah, it's got a pretty bleh pose going on there. I just wanted to see if I can make something look silly, but kind of cool. And I guess it worked in a way. I don't know. I tried to put the Cubile legs on something, and it kind of turned okay. This ain't really part of the universe. And then we have the DMS 00X0 core, which I believe... Ah, yeah, there we go. This is a support suit developed by the DMS. Well, not really a support suit, but belonged to one of the commanders, one of the aces. And yeah, there's not much else to say about it besides it was a pretty powerful suit. He's got the Kshatriya beam cannons on its chest there. Pretty small saber compared to other stuff you'd see in Gundam. Relatively small shield as well. It's pretty agile, from what I remember in my head. It's got heels on. What legs are those? Ah, Rosenzula. Okay. I forgot the Rosenzula's got heels on. Next up, I believe, is also another favorite suit. Oh, never mind. Although this is a pretty suit. It's a pretty funny suit. The DMS 1000 Bala, which I believe, I almost said Bala. It looks like Bala. Hi Bala. But this would be the, I think it was the second war with DMS, the big bad for that one. That's his. This is his suit. It's a pretty big suit, like really big, and there's some pretty silly things going on with it. For one, it's got the perfect Xeon legs, and it's got a steel sword, and for some reason I just didn't know how to make that drill work. I wanted to just put something on it to, like, okay, it can do something, right? I have no idea what the drill could be used for. Maybe like to drill smaller ships that doesn't want to waste ammo on or something, waste fuel on, just poke a hole in it, call it a day, move on to another ship or mobile suit to fuck up. But yeah, it was the second big bad, and yeah, another Dom head. Wish they had more non-Gundam heads. That'd be cool. And I think the shield can come off as well. Well, this little booster in the back here. Yeah, the Bala. Oh, if I can go back. There we go. The SFUGC Crusader. Ah, okay, this was another, they developed more ground suits. And this is one of those ground suits, the Crusader. Looks like it just, your typical kind of high mobility ground melee suit. Obviously got the Haikushiki head on it. Is that the Gian Lancer? I believe so. And it's got the Den Zoe shoulders. Don't know what those legs are at the moment. But, yeah. Just came in. Started thrashing some people on the ground. Killed a lot of crocodiles. The Red River. What is this one? Ah, yes, okay, so another suit I just kind of made. Maybe it could be part of the universe, I don't know. They developed another suit for some purpose. I like that pose it does, because it moved the tall geese's gun here, along with the shield. I was like, oh, you know what, that's a cool pose. Maybe it's another prototype for something they made. I don't know what in my arsenal of suits it could be for. And the Red River is an actual river somewhere in the south of America. At least where I am. It could go on in the Midwest too, who knows. Ah, yes, the QBM50 Sunsetter. A big chunky boy. QBM needed some ground units as well. So, there's a reason he's pointing to this guy, because he's pretty much just an anti-aircraft or flying mobile suit, just anti-airspace kind of suit. Whenever people are trying to land, the DMS suits, you just fire on those motherfuckers. And then, as soon as the First and the Second War happened, the Sunsetter were mass-produced heavily and put on all the places that QBM prosper in, like Pluto. Yeah. And whenever something happens, they just gun it down before it arrives. Someone tries to invade, That's got the Jiwagu torso there with the, how do you pronounce it? The Geisen? The Gundam Geisen? I'm sorry, I'm butchering the fuck out of that name from Iron Blooded Orphans. The one that has like a weird shaped head. Yeah, pretty chunky. Another one, so I'm guessing this is just another one I just randomly made. Yeah, this looks like another one just like, I just want to make something. I like the way the torso is. It looks like it's definitely a prototype of some sort, and the arms are just kind of attached to the upper torso there and attached on that little, I want to say ball joint for the torso. Definitely looks like they had to slap something together to test out a weapon or two. Actually, you know what? Kind of reminds me of another suit I made in Gundam Breaker 3 that became like a mid-range support unit. So maybe this can be the prototype to that, which again, I wish I could stream that soon. Maybe I'll find a way to. And you'll get to see, maybe you did do that. Yeah, pretty cool. Whatever this thing's name would be. Another one of my favorites, probably my third favorite. I even remade this suit in, I kind of continued its story from, whatever I gave for this universe. The DMS 00X1 Skullface, which, oh yeah. This thing, I just like the way it looks. There's something kind of sinister about it. It's kind of got that final ball. Maybe it was piloted, I think, if I remember correctly, it was piloted by the an ace on the enemy side, and the core that you saw earlier would support this. And you know, it's got the Arch Gundam arms. This dude, the ace for this, eventually he survived the final battle of the Second War. And then for the continue the story in Gundam Breaker 3, a bunch of pirates and stuff happen. Pirates that come in from previous factions join together, make their own faction, and they invent some new technology. And somehow the Skullface, I say somehow, the ace escaped with the Skullface. And it became one of the members of the pirate crew, one of the few pirate crews that run it, the whole faction. And it looks a little bit more beat up. It's got a cape, you know, it's got the Crossbone Gundam cape. It uses like 2 beam sabers, and it's a monster. I really like using that suit. It's got a heat sword. It just chops people's parts off easily. And because of how the proportion works in that game, because of the Arch Gundam arms, they're actually pretty long and lanky, so it looks really weird with the O's legs in that game. Kind of gives it more of a, I guess, like, you know, this thing's been through a war look. But yeah, I liked it enough to remake it. I also remade the Odysseus 1 and 2, which I forgot to mention. The Odysseus 2 actually made 2 versions of it. One that's like a slimmed down version, like it got modernized, and then the second one is like a heavy support type, which resembles the Odysseus 2 you see in this video. But yeah, that's the Skullface. And there's another Skullface, so that's something I slapped together. Okay, this one I was actually planning to make a suit. I wanted to see if I can do something with the Nightingale parts. I kinda, I guess, do. Maybe it's a prototype to something. Maybe it's the Tall Tower too, because it has the same torso going on. I'm trying to see what kind of head that is. Let me go back, because I know that's... What is that? Ah, the Giradoga head. Okay. Yeah, looks like it was just a suit I haven't completely finished. But it does look pretty cool in my opinion. Pretty big. I like my suits pretty chunky. Maybe it was another prototype A suit or something for DMS. It definitely looks like something that the invading aliens would use. Or maybe one of the factions that I have in Gundam Breaker 3 is the invading aliens that were left behind. They teamed up with some humans to make their own little faction. They're semi-peaceful. Maybe this can be one of their suits they had left, over. Yeah, and then we have the Great Divider. Okay, so this... We're at the very end, actually. Oh, well, we're all the way back to Great Marvin here. The Great Divider, or whatever the fuck is it supposed to be. okay, I know now. The Great Divider and the you see there, those are the two last ones I made. The Great Divider, I think I made like a year ago or something. This one doesn't really fit into the universe too much. It was just something to see, like, oh man, I want to revisit this game and see what went on. And not much. I guess I kind of just lost the passion to make more suits at the moment. I kind of just made something, But it does look kind of cool. I like the way the Sumo Head fits. You can use the Sumo Head for a lot of things, like a lot of torso parts. I like the way it looks. Got the Sturmfaust there. Maybe I planned it to be some kind of frontline suit for the pirates or something, because it's got a Skullface there. Maybe when the pirates were initially happening. Oh, it can transform too. So let me. Ooh, that's kind of badass. As far as I'm aware, none of the other suits can do that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's the Great Divider. Another Great Moth. So, oh, okay, I guess I just copied it for some reason. And then we got a bunch of Odysseus's, which I wanted to see if I can make it look. I wanted to get rid of those two power pipes that were clipping, so I'd mix some parts together, see what would happen. This one, let me look at the parts here. For the arms, it has the Dom Tropins, which I wasn't a big fan of. It looked too wide. The shoulders looked too disproportionate to everything else. I'm gonna skip the and go to the Odysseus Ace. That one I think I kind of messed around with a little bit. I'm not sure what. Probably the shoulders again. A little bit of the torso. Actually, this has the Giradoga's body, which I believe that's what I use to recreate this in the Odysseus in Gundam Breaker 3, or just the regular Giradoga, because they didn't have the Zaku tank in there. Another Odysseus. That one I try to see if I can get rid of the bottom power pipes with Gelgoog legs, and the Gelgoog legs are way too detailed. And it just did not look right with the upper half. And this is the Odysseus II. I believe I switched something out here. Maybe the legs. Who knows? Another Odysseus. I believe this one's actually just the original. I don't know what I remade it here for. Maybe because I liked it a lot. I'm just gonna put it right here in case I accidentally deleted the original. And then back to the Marvin, I guess, just in case I deleted the original for some reason. Yeah, and then oh, well, I gotta go back to the the last suit I ever made in this game. And you know what? It looks all right, actually. Another Sumo Head. Got a lot of range weapons attached to its back there. Looks like the perfect Gundam shoulder beam cannon, or backpack beam cannon, one of those. It's got knee crushers. Pretty small feet compared to like the calves there. My God. Another Kshatriya body part there. Sumo's head just fits right in there. Again, this doesn't really fit into the universe I made. I guess it was just something I made because I just wanted to make something. It actually looks pretty decent. Pretty big backpack. Obviously meant to shoot from afar. What is its weapons actually? Beam rifle. Beam saber with a heat knife. Cool. Give it a shield. Return of the round shield. Awesome. But yeah, that's gonna about do it for the Gunpla models here. Oh, it's actually a big suit. Damn. But I hope you guys enjoyed looking at these. But cause I enjoyed making a lot of these. The Skullface is definitely a favorite of mine that I remade it. The Armadas are really cool. That I remade those. You know, they got the... Actually, no, I didn't remake those. These are just... Well, I should remake them because I really like them. You know, you got the Armada not finished. The Armada finished, and then the Armada 2... Definitely cool. And then the Odysseus II, another favorite. Just really cool to look at. And then of course my top favorite is the original Odysseus, which actually, you know what? I remember what the one over here is. The one over here is without the GM3 shoulder pads because the missiles, I say shoulder pads, the missiles were actually clipping into the back there. So I got rid of it. And yeah, that one is easily my most favorite design that I've made. And honestly, I really wish there was a way to get Gunpla made. Like, because I would definitely buy this one and pose it just because I really like this design. It has this almost super robot. I've already explained it. It's like a super robot-esque suit. Looks like something that will come in and save the day after a very desperate battle to win, you know. Come flying in, destroy the back line, and save you. And you guys go grab a couple of beers, crack open some cold ones. And yeah, I think that's just going to be it. And now with 1,000 subs, I don't know, maybe I should continue GBO2. I figured out how to record this using the Windows 10, but obviously there's going to be some problems, as I've already experienced. So maybe I'll get some recording equipment. Maybe I'll try other games out. I do have Gundam Federation vs. Zeon and Gundam versus Zeta Gundam, which those are really fun games. Maybe I can record those. I also have some other stuff. If I ever plan on getting a GameCube, I have F-Zero GX. That's a really fun game as well. And of course, I have Steam. I can play Mountain Blade. Mountain Blade is one of my favorite games. I wouldn't mind streaming that at all because I also have that on PS4 because I like it that much. I hope they put the sequel out in there. I have the sequel on Steam, but yeah. Maybe I should... Do I want to monetize my videos? I don't know, because I'm not very friendly with YouTube. Or at least I'm not what YouTube wants in creators, it seems like. I like to say some curse words every now and then. Definitely some very rude jokes. Especially, you know, that one, like, the Mario video, or, you know, if you've seen some other friends' videos that I am subscribed to, like Gendry or James Harpoon. Definitely not a safe for work kind of guy. So maybe I won't get monetized at all. And even if I do get monetized, would it be that much money? And even then, do I have to promote it? And if I do, what am I going to use? Am I going to use Twitter? Which, holy fuck no, I'm not going to use Twitter. I don't know about y'all, but Twitter is just a black hole of just, negativity. I don't want to get canceled because I say bitch. Twitter's just a cesspool of crap. Maybe I'll just stick to YouTube. Just stick with GBO2 for now. Maybe get a face cam, show off some of the Gunpla models I made. I don't know. There's a lot of different ideas to go off of. But I am going to say, though, that I didn't talk about before was how I got into Gundam, which is an interesting topic because I got into this franchise because of the death of another franchise. And if you're not aware of Star Wars, Star Wars is, oh my god, it is such a shit show right now. The Mandalorian was okay, but then they just, I don't know what the fuck they were doing, man. You see, when Disney bought Lucasfilm, everyone was rightfully worried. I thought it was a terrible fucking idea because Disney just... Why would Disney buy Star Wars? And you know what? My hunch was telling me something was off, and it was right. The sequel trilogy came out. The first movie I actually thought was okay, and it kind of tricked me into thinking that something was going to happen. You know, like, oh, maybe I was wrong. And then Last Jedi came out and just shit all over that. And then Rise of Skywalker came out, and that just took an even bigger shit all over everything. Mandalorian came out, was okay. Season 2 was okay. But yeah, it just completely killed any kind of excitement I had for Star Wars. I was a big fan of it. I also... The High Republic bullshit, oh my god. If you even look at their Twitters... It is... there's a reason I don't want to get Twitter, man. It is just crap. Crap. And it just feels like they're favoring certain people. If you ever looked into Gina Carano's firing, stuff like Pablo Hidalgo said was just as bad as she did, but yet he gets let off scot-free because he says certain ways. He says certain things in certain ways. It's awful. They really showed their... And then they made fun of Star Wars Theory for crying because, you know, Luke is... Man, it's just... Whatever the fuck they're doing at Disney Star Wars, at Lucasfilm, it is just... They made it very clear that I am not the person they want to sell their shit to. And I went, okay, I'm going to go look somewhere else. And I went to Gundam. Which I already was aware of Gundam, because when I was little and I was at Chuck E. Cheese's for my birthdays, you know, when you cash in your tickets, and usually I didn't do very good at the games I played, so I only had like a few. They had the very cheap plastic toys, and it turns out some of those cheap plastic toys, they're like only one color. It turns out those were like little tiny Gundam figures. There's a Gundam, and then there's one I know for a fact was a Zaku too. And then there's also a toy line that Bandai did where it almost looks like the Converge figures, you know, the almost like SD looking, but you could take off the arms and the heads, and I guess you could switch them around. You know, they were chibi figures. And I had one of a blue Zaku, but it wasn't a goof. Because the goof looks different than the Zaku. It didn't have like the Vulcan hand or anything. It was a blue Zaku. And I don't know, maybe it was a Zaku Gunner from Seed or something. I don't know. It was weird. And then I had one of looked like a purple chicken. I think that might have been from Wing, maybe? I don't know, but I hardly remember those. I know one of them was, what was it? I think it was from G-Fighter. It was like a boxer, He had like fucking abs and a chest. It was weird. Pecs. So I was aware of Gundam for a little bit, and then I've seen some friends talk about it, and I was like, oh man, the suits really look cool. I really dig the suits. The Federation suits I wasn't as crazy about. The Zeon suits I really fucking loved. The way they're designed just spoke to me, man. They're big, curvy. Look like they can hold a lot of shit inside of them. A lot of thrusters, a lot of weapons. It has that very classic feel to them. And for like the Zaku too, it had like a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Utilitarian. Almost everything looks like it could do something. There's a reason why it's built like that. You know what I mean? It was funny because I was getting into Gundam. They had like the Gundam Versus series, and I've actually watched Seed a little bit when I was really young on YouTube, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on because I skipped episodes, and I think watching Seed made me hate Gundams, like the general term Gundam for the suit, what a Gundam looks like with the V-fin, because everything was called a Gundam, and they all looked very similar because of how Gundams are designed, and I just did not like Gundams. But that's all because of Seed, so I can blame Seed for that. I actually, nowadays I actually like the original Gundam. I like the RX-78. It's got that very classic look to it. It's not over-designed at all, It's just got a nice, simple, blocky kind of design. It's almost like comparing Pokemon. Pokemon Gen 1, which I'm not a Gen 1 or anything. I don't really give a shit too much about Pokemon, but I really like the design of Gen 1 compared to... I was born in Gen 3. I like Gen 3 more. But Gen 1 designs are just classic. There's something about it with a simplicity that's just really good about them. And then you look at... what's the one being remade now? Platinum, Pearl, Diamond, one of those. There's it's like an X and Y. My God, like the way those legendaries look, they just looked over designed, and it's just not. It's not bad, but it's not something I'm just into. And that's how I am with Gundam. I like a lot of the older designs because there's just a nice, simple look to them, and that's just the kind of suits I like. But yeah, that's how did I get into it exactly? I believe I was playing some games, and then I actually bought Gundam, the original series. And I also bought Igloo, which I had some videos detailing how I liked Igloo, and Igloo was a pretty good show. I actually watched that first. I watched each episode of. Well, hold on. I started with Gundam, the first episode, then Igloo, and then I went back to Igloo because I just like the Zeon side of things a little bit more. The Hidalfer episode was completely badass. Holy shit, I love the Hidalfer episode. The Zuda one was also good. There's another one that I can't think of at the top of my head that I really liked. Maybe it was the last episode. And I still have yet to finish the original series because I haven't found time to continue watching it. There are a lot of episodes, like 50-something. There's going to be more, but they had to cut that. But, once I finish the original series, I'll probably move on to Zeta. And I don't know if I want to go into Double Zeta. I heard it's really good at the first half, and then oh no, my bad. It's really bad at the first half, but really, really good at the later half. I don't know what I want to do with that. Oh, I got a friend playing Counter-Strike. Awesome. And maybe... I'm not going to get into any of the other universes. They're not my interest. Maybe G-Fighter. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'll get into G-Fighter. G-Fighter, and I like Dragon Ball Z, so G-Fighter would be pretty nice. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys, and I guess if you enjoyed this video, if you watched all of it, leave a like, subscribe if you want. I'd really appreciate it. Again, thank you guys if you have subscribed and you've been watching my videos. Again, really awesome this happened. And, if you enjoyed any of these designs, I guess just type if you like any of them at the comment section. For me, again, it's the Odysseus here, the Armada, and Skullface, which I forgot to mention. Skullface is just one suit. Uh, uh, enough to where I remade. Well, I haven't remade Armada, but I've definitely remade Odysseus and Skullface in Gundam Breaker 3. And I continued the universe that was in here to there. And there's a nice little story about how things continued and how the suits changed. How there's another. How the alien faction, the DMS, got destroyed and left another faction in their wake. Two factions, actually. The space pirates that band together to form a faction. And DMS remnants with humans. Like human traders. I think those are the ones that went to around Jupiter. That's what I'm getting confused with the ROP. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. And if you guys, I already told you if you guys enjoyed this video, but fuck it, if you guys enjoyed it, just comment again. But yeah, that's gonna be it, and I will see you guys later. Bye.